Good day and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at how you can get your hands on the Smoldering Ember Wyrm mount, and basically, to cut a long story short, the easiest way to get it. Now obviously there's only one way to get it, but hopefully this route is nice and clear for you, as it can be a bit confusing for players. To get the mount, you will need to head to Karazhan. This is a dungeon that exists in multiple expansions of World of Warcraft, but we are specifically going to want to head to the Legion variant. The fastest way to get there is through Legion, either by using the Dalaran Hearthstone or by teleporting to Legion Dalaran through the Azuna portal in your portal room at your head city. Once in Dalaran, head through to this main hub section, jump into this little blue portal and run to the end of the corridor, and on your right will be a portal to take you to Karazhan. Once you are at Karazhan, you're going to fly up to the right hand side of the building so that you are able to grab yourself or enter the dungeon. Now, as far as I understand, I don't know if the dungeon needs to be on Mythic difficulty, but unless you are leveling through Legion as a time walking expansion, if you have a max level character, you shouldn't have any major difficulties with the concept of Karazhan. So although it will require speed, it's fine to do on any max level character. Once we enter Karazhan, we then need to begin. So the first place we'll need to head to is the Opera Hall. You will turn right directly upon entering Karazhan and travel that way. Now, if you are unfamiliar with Karazhan, I highly suggest you do one or two run-throughs just to familiarize yourself with the dungeon. You can do this as many times as you want, on as many ults as you want, and so there's no real worry. You should get it eventually, but if you're not familiar with Karazhan, it can be a bit confusing, but I'll try my best. The Opera Hall will be where you face the first boss. Once you defeat the boss, run through the door on the right. You'll see a whole bunch of enemies. You don't need to get rid of them, but run through the door on the right and then immediately turn left. So you'll see there's the door that I walked through. You'll see the actors are following me, and you'll see that immediately I'm going to now turn left. So you'll see all the actors there. Run past them and then turn left again. Basically just keep going left. That should generally be a pretty good rule of thumb here. Keep turning left until eventually you come through the underground and you find yourself a little staircase that will take you to the crowd area. The opera is the most important part because you have to defeat the opera boss and activate the opera crystal within 8 minutes of entering the dungeon. So you'll see there's the purple crystal. Just going to clear out the enemies here, and then we can activate the crystal and channel. That will give us our first little buff, which you'll notice at the top right hand side of my screen. You'll see a little brown feather thing there with 9 minutes on it. The next one is super simple. Run directly down from the opera, from the hall where you defeated all the enemies, and just before the room where the Maiden boss is, you will see that there is a guest chambers room, and here there'll be another crystal that you can channel. You don't have to channel the whole way with the crystal. As long as you activate the channeling process, you'll get the buff, so don't panic too much. From there, you're going to head directly back down the hall right to the end, and this is going to take you into the spider zone. Once there, run right to the back of the room. So once you come down the stairs, you'll see there's like a whole caverns of spiders. Go to the leftmost back corner room. You'll see a portal to the beginning of the dungeon here. Activate the crystal and teleport back. From here, you're going to head down the corridor till you get to the door that says guest chambers. Once there, you're going to move past the small grate, turn right, and enter into the banquet hall. Once you've entered into the grand ballroom and the banquet hall, you're just going to jump straight down. So you see these rafters there. You jump straight down and you go defeat the boss Moroes. Defeating Moroes will give you access to the crystal that's behind him, but he will also drop a bunch of iron rings. You're going to want to take those rings and then head all the way back to the beginning of the dungeon. So you're going to go back up the stairs, across the balcony, back up where you entered, and then you are going to go back to the beginning of the dungeon because you need to run up the ramp. So collect your iron rings and then head all the way back from whence you came. So just follow the route back up. You should be more than fine. Once you're kind of back to your starting point, then what you can do is basically walk out this little doorway. So run up the ramp and walk out this doorway, and you'll go onto the Master's Terrace. Now the Master's Terrace is important for later, but for now just keep running up. Remember this point though, because this is important, as this is where you'll need to come later on to fight the boss to get the mount. Once you run all the way up to the very top, you'll come to a room called the Menagerie, or Menagerie. I've said that terribly. But yeah, you'll come to the Menagerie and then you'll find the Collector. You have to defeat the Collector and then the final crystal will drop. Now, once you've gotten the final crystal, what you need to do is head straight back down to the Master's Terrace. Don't take the portal behind the Collector, just collect the crystal and then immediately kind of jet off back down the staircase. Eventually you'll come to the Master's Terrace again, which you can see here outside. So I ran back down the stairs, as you can see, came out the doorway, I'm at the Master's Terrace. Once you're there, you'll find a kind of NPC called Shadow of Medivh. This will then spawn the boss, and after a short RP, you will be able to basically take on a boss called Nightbane, and that boss will be, basically how you get the mount. Now the mount, as far as I understand, has a 20% drop rate. Because it's a dungeon, you can run it multiple times in the day, and you can run it on ults. So it shouldn't be anything too crazy. But I mean, obviously it's going to depend on, like yourself. At least, like from my perspective, it's going to depend on yourself. Overall, ultimately, it doesn't really matter too much. I don't think there's, anything too crazy to worry about. It's really fun, really easy, and the mount looks absolutely spectacular. So yeah, good luck. Bye.